is art? Where does art come from? Whence art? That we can even, that we are capable of experiencing it. What does that say? The answer to these questions will not be found in this video. I do want to say a little bit before we get into the main event. And I want to say it fast because our main event lasts around 3 hours and 13 minutes. Now, I have some pictures here that are irrelevant except that they are art. And what we're going to watch, I am not a good judge on. Because, first, I've never seen it. Second, I can't tell through word of mouth whether or not it is good. Very conflicting. Some people say you gotta watch it just because we're talking a Birth of a Nation here. We're talking Birth of a Nation, the movie. Some people say you have to watch it to see how certain film techniques, how it inspires later movies. Is that really the only reason to watch it? Well, we're gonna find out. Some people say obviously not to watch it because of some racial overtones. We're gonna watch it, okay? We're just gonna watch it. I thought about it, and I would rather watch a lot of different things. I really would. But we're watching A Birth of a Nation for many solid reasons. One solid reason, firstly, is that we're playing Civilization 5. This is a Civilization 5 Let's Play, and this is going to be the birth of our nation. Now, one of these is me, and one of them is you, as we embark on this journey. I'm getting a phone call. No! No! Alright, this is art, and we're going to include this phone call. Hopefully, it's not too damning. Hey, what's up?
I've been listening to Chundia's music on the car.
Uh-huh.
Well, on the radio.
Uh-huh.
And I thought of you because maybe putting their English words. So like right now they're like, oh, tune in, to hear the hits. But they say, escúchenos, tocamos todos sus hitazos. And I'm like, what?
Hitatos. That's some shit I would say.
Yeah, and then the other day they're like, oh yeah, just saying hi to all my working people, and they're like, so like roofers, like, oh, los ruferos, and they were saying like a bunch of different things, los pintadores, and then she goes like dishwashers, she's like los dishwasheros.
That's too far. Like, come on.
Like, oh my god, like Lucas would fucking die if he heard that.
Well, that's my people right there.
Yeah, like los dishwasheros, los ruferos, los blah blah blah, los jardineros, blah blah. And yeah, that was just funny.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for thinking of me.
Always, boo. Marrying you.
True. Hey, you're not late for work, are you?
Got 4 minutes. I'm about to hit Sahara. So,
Okay.
I should be like right on the clock, probably.
Okay.
Okay. I love you. I'll talk to you later.
I love you too.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Alright. That was a conversation that I'm glad got included into this call. Into this tuning in. I wanted to make this short, this preface, because this is episode 3 of 400, and we really have to touch on a lot of things. We got to include it all, right? So, oh, I said right. Remember what we said about right. Now, I'll let the call speak for itself for my lovely bride-to-be. Where was I? Yeah, we're embarking on this journey. Okay, Birth of a Nation. Reason this is a Civilization 5 Let's Play, so it's a Birth of a Nation, and we have to watch a Birth of a Nation. It's no more explanation needed. Secondly, it's part of the public domain, which is great, which means I can watch and stream it fully on YouTube. I consider doing commentary for other things, but let's get that video. Let's put it all in one place. I don't want you to pull a blank commentary and pull up the video, even though I probably could do that. Thirdly, even though I've wanted to watch something, say like all the Shakespeare plays. Let's go through one by one. So Shakespeare plays. The thing about that is the adaptations of those are not public domain. So there's some good BBC versions, but they say, yo, you can't replay it without permission. It's like, come on, I can't put it on YouTube, and you can't access them either. So can't do that. Even if I could find a good adaptation, I wouldn't really want to do my live commentary with my nice voice quality over what Shakespeare has to say, or what his characters have to say. And then there's another option, say Wagner. We watch a musical. All right, that's good. There's a nice one on YouTube, but it's music. It is heavy music. We might do that actually. All right, but I don't really have to explain myself. We're gonna do Birth of a Nation. Let's see, is there anything else? Okay, we're gonna watch Birth of a Nation. Have I said everything I wanted to say? Oh, there was one more thing. Oh, there was another. Birth of a Nation. No! No! Oh! It was something else. It was very okay. So, this is a live commentary. Now, other YouTubers... Not other YouTubers. If you want to watch live reactions, you can watch people reacting to Maddie B raps. You can watch people react to people getting hit by a car. You can watch people react to other people eating food. But you're not gonna find someone who takes the big dick that is a microphone and holds it to their mouth and watches the Birth of a Nation non-stop for 3 hours. You're not gonna find it. This is unprecedented. It is. And after today, if you will bear with me, you will be able to say, I have watched the Birth of a Nation with someone who held a big to their mouth. So, without further ado, let's begin the show. Oh, one last preface. Oh no, I forgot because I got caught up on the word preface. Oh no. Oh, okay. I do recommend. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it, but I may or may not be medicated during this watching. So I apologize. It's a personal injury I have. I'm dealing with, so I ask for you to please forgive me on that front. But it may or may not increase the effectiveness of our experience. So finally, let us begin. I have little to no knowledge of this movie, except opinions seen through opinions, seen through opinions, seen through opinions, seen through opinions. Warning, I may yell randomly in this video, so headphone warning. And by the way, is my mic better than in the previous videos or no? We do not fear censorship, for we have no wish to offend with improprieties or obscenities, but we do demand, as a right, liberty to show the dark side of the wrong, that we may illuminate the bright side of virtue, the same liberty that is conceded to the art of the written word, that art to which we owe the Bible and the works of Shakespeare. Well, they got the two pinnacles of literature there. I might have looked up maybe like a quick plot summary to help you guys in the beginning, but let's try to pay attention to people's faces. Let's try to listen to the music over my microphone. I don't know if the music's going to be great, but let's just try to pay attention to faces, characters. I don't think I will be reading the... Well, I really don't know. Oh look, a renegade Negro, Gus. If you want, this could be a little game you could play. You could say, I'll be Gus. You could be Abraham Lincoln if you want. You guys used to play that game when you were little? Man. This has Griffith's name all over it. He couldn't resist. Look at this, three places he has his name right here. Okay, we got the two generals, okay. So that war may be held in... Oh, okay, so... If we have conveyed that the ravages of war... That the war may be held in abhorrence, then we will have done a good job, okay. This bringing of the African to America planted the first seed of disunion. Oh no. Oh God! We're going in hard! It said, bringing the African to America planted a seed of disunion. Okay. That is something, that is a statement. The abolitionists... Okay. Okay, now the abolitionists that are demanding the freeing. A nice shot. In 1860, I'm reading it, a great parliamentary leader whom we shall call Austin Stoneman was rising to the power in the House of Representatives. We find him with his young daughter, Elsie. Okay. So we have Austin Stoneman, parliamentary leader, with Elsie. Okay, we don't have a part of the... Are these our protagonists? Protagonist comes from the Greek, the first person on stage. Okay, now sometime later Elsie's with her brothers. And so I like the dialogue they had there with her and her father. Nice, subtle. They were just having a good old time, like, oh, father. Oh, no. True to my promise, brother and I are coming to visit you, arriving in Piedmont on Friday next. We are both just staying to see you again and to meet you, kith and kin. Okay? Dear Ben. Alright, the characters are coming on. They're coming in hot. Remember, this is a Civilization 5 Let's Play. Episode 3 of 400. What's going on here? It's this cute little dance with a cat. This is Elsie, correct? And her brothers. Okay, come on, Elsie. Elsie petting a cat behind curtains. I don't want to get too much into metaphor or it's more of an allegory. Allegory can be weak sometimes, strong other times. They're still playing, right? It seems like is that they're playing. Definitely playing. In the Southland, Piedmont, South Carolina, the home of the Camerons, where life runs in a quaintly way that is to be no more. Okay, okay. Benny Cameron, the eldest son, okay. Oh, looks like his dad. Oh shit. Damn. What? Just that nod? Was that a director's choice or was that improv? Just nod. Mm-hmm. Yes, he fell and they were spunk. They were spanking. They were spanked. Margaret Cameron, a daughter of the South, trained in the manners of the old school. Okay, I'm losing the characters. Wasn't it Elsie Cameron? But we're gonna watch this. We're not gonna pause unless necessary. I was almost gonna say absolutely necessary, but that's overkill. If something's necessary, that means it's necessary and required. You don't need the absolute. Absolute is a very dangerous word. If you ever say absolute, like I often do, you might want to catch yourself. The mother and the little pet sister. I got another text. We're good. This is Andrew Jackson's brother? Not Andrew Jackson. The kindly master of Cameron Hall. There's a lot of kittens here. Kittens and dogs. Kind of yeah, what is that? A lot of kittens and dogs. Who do you know that has a lot of cats and dogs? That might be, or where, maybe certain parts of who you know. I think, is that our first blackface? I might have missed some already. Leaning in for the tug. This is the son of the statesman, correct? Oh, he looked directly at the camera. Hostilities, cat versus dog. Is this allegory? Before this goes any further, I think I want to repeat, or unless I already said it, or unless I haven't said it. Oh, let me read this. True to my promise, bro. Oh, okay. After this viewing, if you would share this whole 3 hours with me, you will have been able to say, "I've seen Birth of a Nation. I've seen it." You can at least say that. You know, I've seen it. The visit of the Stoneman boys to their southern friends. Okay, here comes those two boys that were playing around with the girl, who I thought was Elsie, but maybe this is Elsie. Whom I thought was Elsie. Well, family reunion. I also want to say before this movie goes on that if there's any disturbing imagery, I have nothing to do with it. Even tracing my family back on my mother and father's side and all four of my grandparents' side and all 8 or 16 of their grandparents' side. I've done my due diligence. Chums, the younger sons, north and south. Where did you get that? Okay, wait. I don't want to miss any subtleties here. Where did you get that? North and south. Those are their names. Or okay, the north is the one with the hat then. I'm a layman. I'm here with you. I don't know. I know less than you. So, but back to what I was saying. If you see any disturbing imagery in this movie, I've done due diligence and I've asked. Of course, not everyone could answer, but whoever couldn't answer was provided an answer by a near relative. And basically, none of my relatives had anything to do with. Not only did they have nothing to do with the production of this movie, but a few of them vehemently were against the production of it. And not even that, they were okay, there was one that was vehemently against it, but most of them had no idea that it was ever made. And not only that, they weren't even in the states where it was produced, shot, written. Nowhere near am I to the. Okay, that's just a lie. I may or may not have relatives that have something to do with this movie, but I won't say anymore. But please don't. Me personally, over the plantation to the fields. Oh shit. Okay. I hope you're prepared. You have your coffee, your water. Just let this sink in. Why is it green now? Is this night? It must be night. Let this be a foray into maybe older movies as well. And we can discover it together. By way of Love Valley. Okay, so there's romance and oh, okay. Oh god. Here we go. My father is black, my mother is white. That's me to you guys. My grandfather is black. One of my grandfathers. He has passed away. But yeah, so that's all. I'm just saying that. I'm not just saying that. Just scratch my last sentence and this sentence from the record. Alright, they're looking at the accounts. Oh, was that a mirror? God damn it, I'm sorry for talking. Just take this in. Take this in. He finds the ideal of his dreams in... Okay, it was a picture. In the picture of Elsie Stoneman, his friend's sister, whom he has never seen. Okay. So, there's two romances going on here. That's classic. Damn. It looks like a mix of Gilbert Gottfried and Pee Wee Herman. Okay, I like how they ended that shot. That was nice. I don't really notice that. In the slave quarters, a 2-hour interval given for dinner out of their working day from 6 till 6, man. They honestly share that information. That's an honest truth they're sharing. That's a harsh truth. So they're saying that they did work from 6 to 6, and they only... Damn. And they get a 2-hour break. From 6 to 6, man. I've heard worse, too. I've heard like 6 to 10 sometimes, too, so I don't know. Okay. I got another blackface. The Gathering Storm. The power of the sovereign states, established when Lord Cornwallis surrendered to the individual colonies in 1781, is threatened by the new Alright, if they go to the sovereign states and the... Okay, this is the whole history of what's going on. See, they are covering everything. They're covering romance, they're covering the slaves, their dance. Now they're going to the major power moves. If the North carries the election, the South will secede. So, okay, they're getting this through a newspaper, man. They're living their life. However it may be, they're like, oh, look, old man, this is what's happening. I tell you what, the South will secede. I see it by the words on this paper here. It must be true. We must take action and save this, what we have here. I tell you. The Stoneman Library in Washington, where his daughter never... Okay, now we're going up to Washington. Charles Sumner, leader, confers with the masters of Congress. Alright, so you see what's going on here? Like, we have the two young bucks. They're just in love. They're going. They're seeing dancing. Now we have the powers that be. Now we're up in the north. Housekeeper. Look, if it goes back to this other guy, I like how the fuck. I like how the circle on him makes it look like he's in space. It looks like he's in space right now. He's flying through space. The mulatto aroused from ambitious dream. What? The mulatto aroused by ambitious dreamings. Oh no. So okay, we got that. She's the house mulatto. Oh no. I'm a mulatto, by the way. Once again, my father's black. My mother's white. Oh. This guy looks like John Travolta. What is this character on the right here? Sit up a little bit. I'm gonna change my mic hand for a sec, let my other one rest. It's going a little numb. So she's creeping. She's stalking. Okay. Down to the floor like that. That's this. Some might say, "Oh, this is over emotion, overacting," but I have seen this happen in real life. I have seen that fall to the floor, and that. This is desperation. Not desperation. Desperation. There's another word. There's another word. Not dejection. Oh, now she's climbing back up. She's got an idea. Damn! Look how her hand goes to her mouth. Straight hand to mouth, like what my hand is right now. Her hands. Our hands are what we do things with, and to put it in your mouth, the great leader's weakness, that is to blight a nation. Okay, I have a prediction of what might happen, but I don't want to say it out loud because it might be wrong. Okay, she's saying he wronged her. Yeah, I noticed that as well. Something just happened there. We have to keep that in our mind. If you must, go back to that, rewind. I won't, but rewind. Pause on that image of them two and her smiling. Okay, young Stoneman vows the old vow that his only dream shall be of her till they meet again. Okay, this is full romance. He's like, I just want to love her. You have to be you or the silly one. When I say you, I'm just speaking to a guy that I'm propping up as an argument, so I'm not talking to all of you, but it might be one of you. You have to be the silly one. It could be me. You have to be the silly one to think that even if the world collapses and there's a World War III and bombs are dropping and rogue cabals are coming into your region and terrorizing you, you are the silly one if you think that people aren't going to be falling in love still. If you don't think there's going to be one man and woman who are like, and I don't say that lightly, I don't to mock them. That is their height. No, that's not their height. They go higher than that. That's their beginning. Those are the warbles of love. Alright, sorry. So we have, I believe the tensions are rising or something, and this is causing they have to go now. And think about this. They came here for family reunion here. Everything was happy. There was dancing. Well, dancing went in the slaves' quarters, but there was dancing. There was romance. Oh no, the South will secede. We must fight. It's a critique. So far, what I see, it's anti-war. What it set out to do in the beginning, to show the abhorrence of war. That's a nice ending shot there. That sad boy. First call for 75,000 volunteers. President Lincoln signing a proclamation. Okay, I'm a fan of Lincoln, even though I know very little. I can't say, but I am a fan of him, so I hope they don't do him too dirty in this. Oh, is he signing the Emancipation Proclamation? This is how little I know. I'm reminding you that I don't know shit. Okay, I know a couple things. Well, why the put into the text that time? Abraham Lincoln uses the presidential office for the first time in history to call for volunteers to enforce the rule of the coming nation over the individual states. Okay. I mean, that's a good rule, right? Unity to come together. Lincoln left alone? Look at this shot. Leaving the individual man alone. Wiping his brow. Praying. Good. Stoneman brothers departing to join their war. Oh my god, they're gonna drop the war, motherfuckers. Looks like a Matt Dillon type. Not exactly Matt Dillon. Looks like Robin Hood. I like the outfit. First Battle of Boulogne, Piedmont's farewell ball, and the eve of the departure of its quota of troops for the front. Okay. I like the colors. We've had that sepia, this sepia right here. We've had kind of a more vibrant sepia. We've had the green, now we have the red. Have we had blue too yet or no? Well, youth dances in our childhood and old age slumber. Nice. Oh no. Okay, we remember this man being somewhat stern, looking at the newspaper. This is the first Confederate flag? I missed it, the other ones if they were. See, I do like that there is no dialogue. The first flag of the Confederacy baptized in glory. Oh, the first flag. Was it the first flag baptized or the first Confederate flag itself? Alright, see, I don't know. If it was the first Confederate flag, that's pretty illuminating. I don't know, I'm just saying. Nope, once again, strike that from the record. I'm not just saying. I'm absolutely just, no, strike that as well. Daybreak. I hope this movie doesn't get too sad. I don't know about you, but I am invested in this. I'm gonna take a drink of water.
Oh, they were dancing all night. This guy slept in his chair. I don't think I've done that dance all night until it becomes day. I mean, I've danced till like 2 or 3 a.m.
Putting on the bed, and I've gamed until like 6 a.m. Victory or death? Ooh, that's not good. But conquer we must, for our cause is just. Now, if someone just saw this part out of context, okay, yes, it's bad. Well, I don't know, are these two gonna die, or are they gonna... What's gonna happen to this family at the end priest's sons. Okay. A mother's gift to the cause. Well, that is weird that they call something a cause. This is a cause. This is a good cause right here. Look at this cause. Or it's as if, to me, what a cause is there's a cause and then there's an effect. Cause and effect. They're trying to introduce a cause into the world. A cause, that is a strong word. Because, cause, to call this a cause is to say, alright, this is this is necessary. Is to call this is a cause. This is necessary. Because where did this cause from? Of the previous effect. This is a cause. This is a cause. They're marching off to their cause. This is all for a cause. No, you should say this is all for an effect. This is all an effect. What is a cause? What is an effect? Look at this guy on the left here. They're really but they're going off. I don't mean they're going off. I mean they're going off to war. Is this where go off came from? Go off to war. But think about what each individual is thinking here. What do they have in mind here? Is everyone caught up in the ceremony and okay, we gotta do this, or we gotta save, or these are our troops, or are they all thinking violence, violence, bring them down in the windfall land, while are thinking we are marching, we are going to kill them, kill the others, kill them and kill them more, kill them more. Oh, she's worried. She ain't thinking, kill them, kill, I'm gonna kill. Look at this guy with his hat. Look at how he goes, go kill him. Is that what they're thinking? Go kill him, man! Oh, what's going on? This is all necessary. I'm an old man, and we don't have to go out in the world, but I see that it is necessary thing that we must do. She's sad. She walked in sensing the sadness. Look, the girl picks up the flag. What does this mean again? Oh, my heart? Okay. Wait, what? What's that over there? Sleep. Yeah, look at that. They just go home and now they're quiet. What to do? Elsie, on her return to her aunt's home in Washington, tells her father of her brothers leaving for the front. Okay. Years later, okay, we're cutting pretty fast there. We're interrupting the unities here. The unities, time, space, action. But I mean, we already had interrupted space, so okay, we skipping time. I'm just dying to see you. Well, I'm growing up too. They say I'm such a big girl now, you wouldn't know me. You little big sis. Okay, so it's a blonde. Wait, did I get the unities right? Time, place, action. News from the front. Little sister wears her last good dress as a ceremonial to the wedding of her brother. Let's see if they aged the actress. Definitely, unless that's the other sister. He's gone. Think about this. Today, I saw this video where these, I think it was Ukrainian soldiers or Russian soldiers marching off. This is January 22nd, 2022. And everyone in the comments say, oh, you laugh now, but this is a war happening and skirmishes are about there's a war happening right now in Eastern Russia, and oh shoot, I don't know, maybe people in Eastern Russia nope, because then the next video I saw was some dude in Eastern Europe, and he was like, they were messing around in the streets just having fun. I don't know I know what I'm saying, but I'm done saying it. Piedmont, scarred by the war, you think? An irregular force of guerrillas raids the town. Oh, the first Negro regiments of the war were raised in South Carolina. Okay. This is two years into the war. This is what war causes. The cause was them going out this is the effect of introducing a cause into the world. You're about to see the effect of thinking that you can introduce a cause into the world. Here we go. Oh, he's bringing out. Grandpa is bringing out the pistol. Oh no. Okay, I don't want Grandpa to die. I mean, even though he's made some. He's a grandpa. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh damn. Oh. The scalawag white captain influences the Negro militia to follow his orders. The white captain makes the black militia do it. It literally said the white captain does it. This is not racist. The white rebel ordered the Negro militia to do that. Okay, the grandpa's dead, by the way. I just want to say that as well. The girls can't die. God dang. Now this is nice. This is good film. She's slapping. That is not a mistake in the movie or in psychology. There are no mistakes in that. Okay, this is the room they were in. Okay, now here the Confederate troops are. Look at this action. Where'd they go? Where'd they go? You do see this in movies to this day. This is the tension. This shouldn't be taken lightheartedly. It shouldn't. This is. Oh, it looks funny. They're all moving fast. They're literally burning buildings out here. Violence, violence, violence to violence, violence. Where's the cause? Where's the effect? Rewatch the last 10 minutes on repeat 20 times, and you will have. Here's the white captain who ordered it. This movie has not yet taken a side in the war. I just want to make that clear. It is not taking a side in the war. So far it's anti-war. It's purely an anti-war movie. So if it's anti-war, to me it's art. There's our definition of is love. I do feel the need to pause, but I won't. The Confederates did come to the rescue, but that's not saying that the Confederates are the heroes. This started because they marched off. That's not to say that they are the causes of this. They marched off because of something else that happened before. But then we'll get letters from home about tender. Then that's an example. Oh, who started it? Who first marched off? Who caused this? Who did that? Who that? Who? Point the finger. If I can point the finger at somebody, I don't have to do this. And reminder that I'm holding a BD, my mouth, on the battlefield. War claims its bitter, useless sacrifice. Can this make it any more plain that it's not worth war, no good? To me, that's almost a weakness that it had to say that. But even though it said that, this movie is still misinterpreted. Even though it made it clear. It's made it clear about 4 times now. But to me, it's made most clear implicitly and the scene where those girls almost died. Oh shit, he's there? Oh shit! He's smiling while he dies. The boys! I'm getting little shivers, boys. I didn't shiver for the grandpa, but this boy. Look at that. If I do die at war, I want to be able to do that to my boy. Damn. Yep, news of the death of the... Oh, okay, because the grandpa didn't die. That's probably why I didn't shiver. Oh, shit. War's sad page, yep. These are the North folk, right? That was a good use of right on my part, because I actually don't know. The last of their dearest possessions to be sold for the failing cause. So, how can a cause fail? That's just another reason why we shouldn't call things causes. Because if it's a cause, you can't... if cause fails, it's not a cause anymore. There's no cause and effect. It's not. Maybe a bum cause? A dud? Like if it fails, it becomes something else. Like if I light a firework and it doesn't go off, it doesn't become a failing cause. This new cause is that, okay, something in the air made it a dud, or it expired. And I don't want to get too pedantic with it. Elsie Stoneman goes as a nurse into the... Oh, excuse my dog, he's walking around. He's shaking off his shivers. Okay, now we're going blue. While the women and children weep, a great conqueror marches to the sea. Blue for sea. just make sure I stay focused and don't lose the thread of the plot. It's a bad habit in old movies. It is hard to, after the first hours, to make sure you don't lose it. But even though we might lose it, the ending may still have its effect as long as we give it our all. The Porch of War against the Breast of Atlanta, the bombardment and flight. I do hope this movie doesn't fumble it though. So far, no sides have been taken except against war. The Porch of War scars the breast of Atlanta. It put it a little better than what I just said. I'd use scar somewhere else. I love that the old film makes it look like it's in space. That's a good bonus. Bonus in Latin means good, by the way, so that's a bonus. Look at this field. Look at this cut right here. If you want to go back on that, it was a field and then above were the buildings. That was trippy in a good way. Trippy. Now once again, look at the buildings at top. Look at how that looks. It's like the middle is just chaos. They're on ground and they've fallen from the town above. Now this is impressive. The ballroom scene wasn't impressive. Even them going off to war wasn't too impressive to me. Even for the time, I don't think it's impressive. I might be wrong, but this is impressive to me. Is this someone we know? Oh, okay, the cameras are going. Oh, I think I recognize that mustache. So the family is not... War does not do the family good. Okay, I did just think of something. Was the war necessary? When it becomes necessary, is it necessary? That might be the best way to take the other side, to tackle my argument. So, was the war necessary though? Wasn't the war necessary to free the slaves? The sorely needed food train of the Confederates is misled on the wrong road and cut off on the other side of the Union lines. You could argue that, say, from the north side it was necessary. From the south side, should there have been some concession, some secession? General Lee orders an attempt to break through and rescue the food train. A bombardment and a flanking movement are started to cover the charge. Okay, here comes Robert E. Lee. Continue our thought, may you always put your hands up and say, just action. Like right here, if I'm the guy in the bottom left, I'm putting my hands up and I'm falling face flat on my belly. find this guy in the bottom middle right here. Now you see that guy carrying a flag? I'm dropping the flag and I'm falling either on my belly or my back, and I'm shaking. The little colonel, I don't know who that is. There's my history butt showing. Like that smoke. That smoke. That's good. That's the fog of war. The entrenchments of the opposing army separated by only a few hundred feet. I'm throwing up my hands and I'm falling on my, maybe I'll fall on my side, and then I put my, I fall asleep. I fall asleep as the cannon fire goes by. My drill sergeant puts a gun, no, my sergeant puts a gun in my hand and says, shoot, shoot, and I don't. He grabs my hand and puts my hand into the trigger, and there's enough space in that little trigger area for both his finger and mine to fit, and he says, pull it, and he attempts to pull it, and I go so limp that I slip from his body. My instinct kicks in so much that my eyes fall and I faint. So I faint at the point of where he pulls my finger, so I did not pull that trigger. I fainted. And I didn't even fight back. I fainted and it just slipped. Carrying those flags, man. Those flags, though. Can someone edit this and change those 2 flags for me? Do you know what 2 flags I mean? And to every 30 years, someone needs to come around and just edit this movie and change the flags. Is it maybe every 30, maybe 15 years? I'd say every 30 safe. So I'll tell you what's on my mind. Well, if the battle scene goes on, I'll tell you what's on my mind. Okay. It's the thought I had World War. The English came to America. The Puritans were the first to come from England and settle here. And then, of course, the Revolutionary War and then Civil War. Now, to England, the first to come there were the Anglo-Saxons, which were a group from Germany. So, England came from Germany. Hence the Germanic roots and the similarity of language. As much as Ich liebe dich does not sound like I love you. Ich liebe dich. Ich bin der Kakao. Ich bin der für dein Hausenhund. Ich bin der Feuerwerk in den Flaggen. Packen. No, that's disrespectful. As much as that doesn't sound like I love you, and there's the firework there, and the smoke goes up in the air. The smoke goes up in the air. Maybe if I did a similar accent. Anyway, so Americans came from England. England came from Germany. Just that right there sets up our relationship. Are we Germans? Are we rivals of Germans? Because we've escaped them twice. Or but then we have to look at it more. Are the Puritans, now look up Puritans if you have to see what they are. Are the Puritans similar to Anglo-Saxons in that they left? Or are their views same? Or are the Puritans the opposite of the Anglo-Saxons? Are they a new sect? Now, if you just look at like all these splits that are happening, might put this into a little more context. I'm not saying it directly has to do with the Civil War. Just all of the dissension and our origins and how complicated history is, how much we don't know, and how much even if we did find out that we knew how much that wouldn't even help us, because in the end we're all brothers and sisters. And here we are shooting. Imagine you're shooting your brother and your sister right here. Imagine this is you right here. You're reloading your weapon and your brothers and sisters are coming across and you're shooting them. Well, then again, you might just be playing a game. Maybe it's all just one big game. War is just football. I don't joke about a lot of things, but that last sentence is probably the one joke I've made in an hour and a half. Okay, this next sentence is it gonna be another joke, or was it? And this next sentence, it refers to my previous sentence, which was formerly my next sentence. Is it? Man, Will looks awesome. Don't you guys want... Oh, that guy got clubbed. Wasn't that awesome, getting clubbed like that? Don't you love seeing people getting clubbed in the head? Alright, now we're going to tone down the sarcasm as I take another drink. I might even go to the bathroom during this war scene. This could be our intermission. But first, drink.
Sometimes when the sarcasm's too heavy, we gotta wash it down. War.
I'll take down the colonel posse for the last charge to secure a fallen foe. I think something's important happening here and I'm missing it. It looks like the Union is cheering that the Confederate captain went and appeased the fallen foe. Like here's water. And now they're doing one final charge after giving the dying enemy water. Damn. He pulled his hair. The bad lane of death. Damn, it still goes on after that charge? I thought that was some kind of peace, but okay. War is peace. That was said in the possession, but in the contraction, war is peace. That's not what it said, that's just a little ambiguity. The war is peace. That I kind of like that. It can throw off in a good way. This will get you thinking. But that was war's peace. Like, okay, we're going to sleep for a second. Is that what we need to do? Just sleep on it? Just sleep? Look at that smoke. Dead bodies. None of them are moving, good actors. If you just take a couple deep breaths with me if you need to, Battle scene. Maybe this is your favorite scene. Is this the only riveting scene to you so far? Yeah, violence! Yeah, look at this Cosmo shot right here. I'm pausing, I'll pause. Okay. Oh no, damn it. The smoke kinda ruins it. No, we're going back. First time going back. Look at the cosmos unfold before our eyes. It might as well be saying, okay, this is how a planet is formed right here. Forget birth of a nation, this is birth of a planet. The metaphors of planets, by the way, are amazing. Look at the shot first. Look at this. Oh, look at that. Is this Jupiter? You can't even see the comments here. The comets. A couple asteroids. Look at this shape right here. The smoke of a nebula. This is a straight up nebula. Wow. Wow. Constellations. Wow. And don't be a stickler and say this is out of proportion. That constellations are out of proportion with a nebula, with Jupiter being bigger. That's to show you that it's bringing it all onto one scale. It's bringing it all. That's what art does. It brings it all into one scale. Look at this tear in the universe. Look at this nebula. Look up Horsehead Nebula. I can't. I'm doing too much with it, holding a pee-pee to my head and doing all this. But you look up Horsehead Nebula right now and other nebulae, and good word. And I think it means cloud in Latin. Anyway, just look at this, and it's evolving. Oh my God! Oh my God! Replay that little 2 seconds. It's like hundreds of millions of years are passing by right now in this moment of war. Oh, it's like a fast forward of the universe right here. What? I don't need to say anything. All I'll say is that the metaphors of planets are brilliant. This is why mythology, especially Greco-Roman, is a height from which we can look out at the stars, see truth. And now it's brown again. Now it's dust. Wow. News of the death of their second son of the eldest being near death. Okay, yeah, so 2 of the sons have died. I forgot the last names. Coleman? Yeah, so I was just looking at the planets, so I forgot your last name. What was your last name again? Where are you from? Oh, you're not my brother? You're not my sister? Oh, you're part of a different tribe? Oh, that's right, we're at war. I shouldn't love you. Like, yeah, the sons are dead. Remember, this isn't the war people. I don't know. We'll let the movie play. I'm not gonna. After the discovery of the universe, there, I don't feel I can say much. Well, anything I do say is kind of bows to that last shot and the fact that shot ended the war. Wow. Well, it ended that battle at least. Yes, I agree. Wow. And now the hate is blood. Hate is blood right here. Moving moment there. Little Colonel in the military hospital set up in the Patton's office where Elsie Stoneman is a nurse. Okay, the Little Colonel, I believe, was the one who charged, and I thought that it would end the battle at that moment when he stuck the flag down the cannon. Now, is he going to fall in love with Elsie Stoneman? I believe Elsie is part of the North. And the Little Colonel obviously led the South, so are they going to fall in love too? Now we have North and South love? picture he saw earlier? Look at the galaxy, by the way, as a backdrop. Look at this, man. And it's moving. It's moving. Not only are they stars that they will film grain, but look how fast it's moving. And then, oh, okay, here comes a regular shot where you can still see the stars in the background, but we're so in reality that we forget the stars are there. It's entirely possible to the welfare of my old boarding school friend, Colonel Ben Cameron, who has been committed to your hospital. Okay, I take it back. It was Cameron, not Coleman. So we have the Camerons and the Stonemans. So Camerons, I believe, are down south, and Stoneman's up north. Okay. Dang, though I've never met, I've carried that with me. Okay, yep, for a long, long time. Is this the first dialogue straight up? The first words are said between man and woman in love, between north and the south. And look, she's a nurse, she's carrying around a banjo. Wait, you have a picture of me? Mother Cameron, so she comes from the south up to the north to visit her son. No, this is a northern hospital. Remember, this is I'm going into the room to my boy. You may shoot if you want to. More dialogue. Nice. Second piece of dialogue, mother to son. Or mother about son. That's in, clearly. She said 2 sons die. His mother. Is he dreaming? You know, here he has the love of his life and his mother. This might be a good moment for allegory. A soldier at war in the opponent's hospital, visited by his mother and meeting the love of his life. The army surgeon tells of a secret influence and is condemned. Oh shit. Hand as a gorilla? A secret influence? Who is that from? Okay. I am gonna pause here to use the restroom, but this isn't as good as the battle scene that ended with the whole universe, but take a look at, well, this may be an intermission. If you want an intermission with me, you can, intermissio. If not, then you can focus on this scene where we have, like I said, the soldier in the opponent's hospital, dreaming, basically seeing the stars. We have the love of his life, who is playing the banjo. We have his mother, who has lost 2 sons, come to visit him in the opponent's camp, and she went past the guard. And remember, I believe she's either the daughter to the grandpa or the wife. And then we have I don't want to put it, not a messenger, I guess a messenger, the attendant to the powers that be, that is saying, hey, he's got to be hanged by a secret influence. So all of this come together in one room as the stars in the background have been going. By the way, if I press play, you'll see the film grain moving. Now the stars are frozen. And this is our reality taking over after the stars. Now I do have to use the restroom, and I'll try to close the door so you don't have to hear me, but a quick 1.5 minute intermission. I didn't wash my hands. So add that to how I'm communicating through this microphone that I'm holding to my mouth and our long-going metaphor. Alright, let's resume. I have a little bit of sunshine shining on my monitor, so it's adding to the effect, but other than that, my windows are closed. Try to watch this as dark and as dark in areas in a dark as area as possible. In a dark an area as possible. We will ask mercy from the great heart. Okay, that is very interesting. Not great heaven, the great heart. To say, hey, we're all connected, the great heart. The heart being the will, everyone having a heart. We being connected through the mothers of Paul, it said, correct? Through each other, we being connected to animals. We being one pumping force and spirit. This is the second shot of Lincoln and he's sitting down. Now that is a man of action, and I'm not saying that lightly. I sit a lot and I get things done. The mother is meeting Abraham Lincoln. Mom, tell him, please. She's like, she's so modest she can't even say, I don't know if modest is the best word, but such in a humble position, she can't even ask the president to save her son. This is a woman, a mother of the South, visiting Abraham Lincoln. Humble, modest, those are tricky words. Is she thanking right now or begging? I think she's thanking. She did the best way of asking. She's just like, oh, look at, this is a great actress here. Okay, I'm guessing that's the pardon. Damn, Abe Lincoln is a G for this one. Look at this actress. And Abe, look at Abe. Abe's always just staring. I think this is giving Abe like the best, one of the best representations. I really do. He's got those black eyes. He's always at work. He's stressed out, man. And he's just like sitting and he's like, alright, I'm signing these. No. I'm rooting for good in this movie. Please, God. I got your pardon. I like how the nurse is taking a part in it. Mr. Lincoln has given back your life to me. Nice. Your son come to listen back for. Oh, the father's failing. Okay, so that was the father. But the son, at least the son's recovering. Classic Nightingale going on. to the father being sick. Compare Abraham Lincoln to the father. I mean, it's not a coincidence that we have the president of the world and then the head of this household who's falling sick now, and who, remember earlier, heard the news and was like, we gotta do something about this. Okay, we're at the courthouse on 1865, the surrender of Robert E. Lee to U.S. Grant. A historical facsimile of the McLean home. Okay, we got it. Now we gotta pay attention because it's some shit might go down. Historical facsimile. Okay, so we're going to the home, right? Or the courthouse? Okay. Okay, we got the north and the south. We got Lee and Grant. The south and the left. Oh, I see where this is going. Oh no. The Klan is coming, aren't they? The end of state sovereignty. Liberty and union, one and inseparable now and forever. T.S. Eliot said when talking of Britain, he was talking of the Protestants and the Catholics to really dumb down what I'm trying to say. He said once a country begins its civil war, the civil war always goes on. So he's no longer Little Colonel, he's Colonel Cameron. How will the Civil War rage on now? Is it going on today? Obviously. Is she gonna stay in the north? Color change. Parched corn and sweet potato coffee. Damn, that sounds good. Sweet potato coffee. Excuse me. Excuse me. Regarding blackface, in Shakespeare's time, all the women's parts were played by men. This is where, remember, hatred was bred with this woman. That's what the title card had said. What is she doing here? Is she messing up her outfit? I'm also getting flashbacks to that one scene in the governmental house where the lady falls to the floor in desperation. I don't. Is that where it started? I don't. That was maybe that was ambiguous, and if it was, good on you, movie. All right, what do we got here? The homecoming. Okay. Yeah, the homecoming. This is my home. What the? Look at this home. Look at these charred pillars. You went off to war, man. You didn't fall on your belly like I would have. I don't know if I would have. I don't know if I would have had the courage to give up. I don't know if I would have had the courage to not to fight. There's a sentence for you. remember she was devastated when her other brothers died. Oh my goodness, what was she doing? Was she trying to make it look worse? Oh, I messed up. That's fine. If whoever else noticed it, good for you. Use that. Let it build. Take a couple breaths in these movies. Remind yourself to breathe. Radical leaders protest against Lincoln's policy of clemency for the South. Okay, here we go. Now we have a radical leaders protest against the this guy? Okay, so they're saying they shouldn't have clemency for the South. This radical northerner. Oh no. Their leaders must be hanged and their states treated as conquered provinces. On this, I don't know if this is how it went down, but on this, how I'm going to view it is there has to have been at least one person who, in the North, thought that. I should deal with them as though they had never been away. Nice. There's at least one person with a microphone, in this case with access to the president, but in our general case with a microphone to their mouth. There's at least one person who thought that, and so with an influence. And they thought Lincoln shut him down. He knows when Lincoln stands, it's for a reason. Is he going to sit back down or is he going to end there? If it ends on him standing, that might be bad. It's ended on him sitting. Oh no. He doesn't get to sit. The South, under Lincoln's fostering hand, goes to work to reward itself. April 14th, 1865. What happened after everything was healing came the fated night. Oh, let's try to pay attention here. Again, the performance accelerate the surrender of Lee. Oh, okay. My bad for forgetting what this was. Exact in size and detail. So okay, that's impressive. Look how it opens up on these two right here. Hopefully it illuminates the nice. The eyes opening up. Oh, I just woke up from a dream. Or did I just wake up into a dream? Did I just fall asleep and I just woke up into a dream? play. I love the attention to detail in the background characters, the extras. Look how intimate this play is. I hope I'm as intimate as this play is right now with you fellows and folks and females watching. I can't say too much because I haven't seen the whole movie, but a little part of me is wondering what's the backstory behind the shooter. How this one moment, I mean, if they're building up this fated night where it breaks at this moment, is it just a random occurrence from a random guy? I mean, all of them can be deduced to that. But personal bodyguard takes his post, okay. What I'm trying to say is, also think of the scene in Bedazzled. Direct comparison, somebody please. But what I was trying to say is, all of the little causes and effects that go into this one moment that ends up saying, okay, this is the turning point. Who can we point fingers at to blame? Oh, him? Why him? Oh, because of that reason? Okay, then why did that happen? Oh, because of that, then why did that happen? Oh, because of that, then why did that happen? Oh, because of that, then why did that happen? Oh, because of that, then why did that happen? Oh, because of that, then why did that happen? To get a view of the play, the bodyguard leaves his post. This is me putting I'm the bodyguard. This is like Chance for Allegor over here. I'm the bodyguard, and I'm like, man, I just love art so much. I want to see it. I just want to make a video on art right here. What's the worst that can happen? I just want to, get a view of the art and, make a nice little YouTube video for my friends, and I put a microphone in my mouth. What's the worst that can happen? Act 3, Scene 2? Well, we're pretty much in Act 3, Scene 2 right now in this movie, A Birth of the Nation. A Birth of the Nation. Ooh, look at this. Colin Farrell's grandfather. I guess I could just be his grandfather. Not pretty great. God, the bags around Lincoln's eyes are just solid. While he was watching, sic semper tyrannis, thus always tyranny. While he was watching a movie, he died. Abraham Lincoln died while watching a movie. Like right now, if you were just watching this, all of a sudden you died. If you and we don't know, or we probably do know. I should do the research. What part of the movie it was? Our American Cousin. That'd be a good little assignment. See exactly what moment he died at, and see how meaningful it could be, and see if it could be anywhere near the equivalent. Okay. If it could be anywhere near the equivalent of you or I, like dying during that star scene that we were looking at of the war. Stunman. his right hand gal over there. They're both bad. It's like a Macbeth and Lady Macbeth situation. It's just there's an evil there. There's no blame to be held on either one of them. Well, no blame and all the blame. Yeah. Remember, we're all to blame and none of us are to blame at the same time. That's not a contradiction. Our best friend is gone. What is to become of us now? This is a family. There's the powers that be that are moving, and then there's this family. In the background, we have the slaves. End of first part. Oh shit. Should we get intermission? The video's already pretty long. We're good. The agony to south that endured while the nation might be born. Oh, okay, second part. This is a reconstruction. The blight. I missed it, but it's all good. It is not meant to reflect on any race or people of today. Excerpts from Woodrow Wilson. Adventurers swarmed out of the north as much the enemies of the one race as of the other, to cousin, beguile, and use the Negroes. Woodrow Wilson said that? In the villages, the Negroes were the office holders, men who knew none of the uses of authority except its insolences. Adventurers swarmed out of the north as much as the enemies of the one race as of the other, to cousin, beguile, and use them. Remember my father. Okay, there's a lot on the previous card. It said that it's not to reflect race today. I like and don't like that, because I mean what we were saying of the Civil War is still going on today. So it's still we'll see. We'll always go in with the good faith. You gotta try to love something first, and I'll argue that you do have to love it in order to know what it is about. The policy of the congressional leaders wrought a veritable overthrow of civilization in the South, and their determination to put the white South under the heel of the black South. But before I go on, yeah, you gotta love it to know it. But I mean, that's if knowing is your end game. Otherwise, you can just love it to love it, or you can just not know it. And as you know, you don't have to know everything. Like, I don't have to know what rape. I don't know. I don't have to know the most evil man in the world. I don't have to know the machinations of his brain. That doesn't have to be my end game. Okay, the policy of the congressional leaders wrought a veritable overthrow of civilization in the South. Okay, so yes, because of the powers that be, the South, there's something going on there. In their determination to put the white South under the heel of the black South. Woodrow Wilson. Wilson catches a lot of flack, but I've seen a couple good quotes from him and a couple bad ones. Put the white South under the... Okay, so... I mean, we're just gonna let it play. We're letting it play. There's no commentary on this part. It's a thinker. The white men were roused by a mere instinct of self-preservation until at last there had sprung into existence a great Ku Klux Klan, a veritable empire of the South to protect the Southern country. The mere instinct of self-preservation. Once again, we're just gonna let this go. Woodrow Wilson said this. If it was mere
instinct. Notice how, once again, this is just another war. This is just a civil war again. Say this is the part of the South. Okay, they're defending, but, alright. Even by defending and fighting back and going to war with self-preservation, look what it leads to in the worst instances, and so the most instances. Pretty much you're going to war, those are going to be the bad instances. It's that violence breeds violence breeds violence, baby. Violence, violence, violence. Just put your hands up, get on your belly, and wiggle. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. What's that song? Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. If that song had come out, then maybe the message would have came across what to do. We're sitting foot now. Here comes Lady Macbeth. Silas Lynch, mulatto leader of the blacks. Okay, as a light-skinned man, I'm trying to put myself into this moment where the two light-skinned characters. Don't script me. You're the equal of any man here. Is he just saying that? We know this guy's character. The great radical delivers his edict that the blacks shall be raised to full equality with the whites. Understand intentions here. So that woman wanted equality the whole time. This woman right here. The senator urges a less dangerous policy and the extension of power to the freed race. The senator urges a less dangerous... Oh, so they were going to do the equality. Wait, she wants the less dangerous policy or she wants the equality? We're about to see once the news is delivered what her reaction is. I like that there are a lot of powers at play here. Make this man, Silas Lynch, as a symbol of his race, the peer of many white men living. What's going on here? Is it the setting up of a... symbol? Stoneman, ill at his daughter's apartments, sends Lynch south to aid the carpetbaggers in organizing and wielding the power of the Negro vote. First time we've seen the stars in a while. Oh, that were reminded of the stars. The music cue signals love. Woman's influence is strong between her and the other. Okay, now we're getting deep. Silas Lynch, the symbol for equality, is headed down to Piedmont, the hometown of the Coleman, I believe, family. Starting the ferment, the Black Party celebration, inducing the Negroes to quit work. I don't want to quit work. Years later, they're doing the same thing. Negroes getting ready for supplies, charity of a generous north, misuse to believe the ignorant. Wait, I actually missed that because I'm really trying to hold it all together here and trying to take this all in at once. Free supplies. Charity of a generous north, misused to delude the ignorant. So it is calling the north generous. And once again, we're not taking sides, and this movie is not. We're not. We should not. And they're misused by who? The South? The charity of a generous North. They're saying the generous North. Not saying the generous South. They're misused to delude the ignorant. Oh, God. We're letting the movie have its effect. Cameron. I see what there can be disagreement there on what the movie's trying to do. It was trying to say, oh, the Stoneman advised by his physician to seek a milder climate and designed to see his policies carried out at first hand. Okay, now the big boss is going to come in, but the movie is trying to say like, oh, look at this family. It's taken over by this, what the movie's saying, these Negroes, and they're led by Silas Lynch, and they're making it not like it used to be before. But is it just a Civil War redisguised? Is it just... Or sorry, is it just, so is the movie wrong for that? Is that how it went down? Does that happen at all? Does that happen on any level? Do we want to think about this, or let it sink in, then think about it later? Wow, so Stoneman's going straight to Piedmont, huh, and the family home? I'm about to clear my throat. You northern low-down black trash, don't try no airs on me. This movie is sparing in the dialogue, and it uses it, I think, when it is necessary. Not necessary, but it does use it at opportune moments. Like, it's not using dialogue here, like, we missed you. No, that's obvious by the action. It is showing dissension among the African Americans as well. Dissension and disagreement. Now we have the leader, and then his symbol. Little Colonel. Little Colonel doesn't want to accept it. No, the dissension continues. Violence to violence and the violence and the violence and the violence. No one love me. No one should be so love and you can love me. Not doing, you can have the number, another, and you can knock it down and my life, but not even that. We also work for what we have, we love and feel green. Lynch a traitor to his white person and a greater traitor to his own people, who he plans to lead by an evil way to build himself a throne of vaulting power. A traitor to his own people. Wait, was there just a disagreement right there to Stoneman? Did Stoneman tell him, hey, well, we have to put up with this? And Lynch said no? Oh my gosh. While this goes on, I'm just gonna look up a picture of Silas Lynch, because you guys can do it too. Okay, it is a fictional character. Oh, dang it. Well, that's gonna be a good thing. But the equal rights, equal marriage, what did it say? Equal policies. And the sign's gone. Is that a choice? I do want to say that I want to say that this is like, I don't mean to make this video like this is the greatest movie ever. We must all watch this. I hope I made that clear in the beginning. I haven't even seen this movie. I just want to take it in and see what it's about. I don't think it. I don't even need to go vote the franchise for blacks. Like, I don't whatchamacallit. I chose to follow it. I don't want it. No. Oh my gosh. Okay enough to film a bucket. I'm saying this movie isn't a perfect movie. It's safe to take. Okay, damn. Maybe now it's a perfect movie. No, but we had to get that scene in there. Is that a callback to the dogs in the beginning? Love strain. Okay, but I'll start with the dog. Oh, that was Silas doing that? There is a trope right there where they might have innovated, is they're being mean to the dog, set him up as a bad guy. But what I'm trying to say is that this movie has imperfections, and to me they're all made up by, okay, first is kissing of the bird, and that earlier scene that we saw, the end of the war, with the sun and the galaxies and Jupiter and the comets and the space being torn and also flying at full speed while war is going on our green-made red Earth. To me, that we can take away from those little moments, and as long as we're enjoying it and we're keeping ourselves somewhat in check, then I mean, what can you really have against that? Okay, Silas witnessed that love scene. Bitter memories will not allow the bruised part of the South to forget. Oh. I'll send you guys some breath if you need it to make it through the last half of this movie. Mic check, mic check. Hopefully my recording doesn't get screwed up halfway. Oh, I was like, where'd my camera go? But it got dark in the room. I'm missing what's going on here. Pride battles with love for the heart's conquest. I don't love that sentence. Wait, I do see it. I do see it. I mean, because I have my qualms with pride as a word and a concept. I do think, like, if I'm a good writer, I should be proud of that. So that's pride of obviously can be taken too far. So yeah, pride and love. Well, I just didn't say love is the opposite of pride. why can't they live in this sort of current events? Remember that all events are current events at one point. Remember that we're at any point in history we're living in modern times. Yes, 480, that was very modern time at the time. I'll watch it. You know, if I have to put that in dialogue, that it's important, right? I say right because I'm second guessing myself. I use right there. Remember right when someone uses right. Everyone should just be getting degraded. So yes, I'll watch you safely home. Oh, okay, maybe not. Love their after these. Me in love. Green to orange. Green to sepia. So does green mean like the forest? I like it if it does. Me with my microphone. Hey Tito, keep it down. Tito's my dog. Election day. All blacks are given the ballot while the ruling whites are disfranchised. We're gonna take it in. We're taking it in. Sometimes things can be taken to the extreme. We're taking it in. If we're taking it in and things are being taken to the extreme, a rift is created. A rift. Are we in control of the rift? Are we magicians at this point? I do like that Stoneman, the old John Travolta character who was Lincoln's. He seems to be changing in his viewpoint, but there's so much radical doctrines. Oh no, never mind. He isn't changing because he did want to stop the South, so his intentions are the same. Another thing about this movie is who's taking it. We watch this movie and we watch how thousands of other movies. So we're adding it to the amalgamation we discussed in the prologue to this 400-part Let's Play of Civilization 5. So it's an amalgamation, so we cross-reference and we're comparing and we're like, okay, well, say this is the case. Well, we know the other case in 999 times, or however many other movies have to do with this topic. The Little Colonel relates a series. Here's a Little Colonel, you remember he's, not not disgruntled. The case was tried before a Negro magistrate and the verdict. I will be honest, me saying that, I'm worried about YouTube doing something, but we'll see. Even me, I shouldn't have said that, they probably can pick up on that, huh? Anyway, I can say that word because my father. Okay, let's try to pay attention. I'm sorry to distract us. We'll come back to the amalgamation of movies in a second. This looks like an important scene. So we take the amalgamation of movies. So, but what if there was only one person who only watched one movie? So could this movie be dangerous in that sense? Even while he talks, their unfaithful family servant is punished for not voting with the Union League and carpetbaggers. So yeah, what if this was the only movie someone watched? Like, is it lethal at that point? Well, even Shakespeare could be taken as that. If someone perhaps only watched Merchant of Venice, but even then, you could take Merchant of Venice, and if you see how it truthfully is, if you see both Antonio and Shylock, the Christian and the Jew, there's a line in that play. It's like, how does it say? Which one the merchant and which one the Jew, or something like that? Because Merchant of Venice and Antonio, and then you get the Jew. In that play, he owns ships. He's a businessman, and then we have the Jewish person Shylock, who is a moneylender, and the merchant accuses the moneylender of lending money, but the merchant's a merchant. I mean, he's a businessman. He too takes advantage. Anyway, that would be the correct interpretation. But even with someone like Shakespeare, you can have someone taking it out. The faithful soul enlists Dr. Cameron's sympathy. Someone like Shakespeare who said nothing but love, 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 war is bad, war is bad. Then we have someone misinterpreting it and saying Henry V is something pro-war. Anyway, we're taking it in. I'm sorry to have missed this last couple of minutes. It looks like just dissension happening. The riot in the Masters Hall. 101 blacks and 23 whites. This is a historical facsimile. Yeah, I like this shot. Okay, what's happening? The Grim Reaping. So yeah, the Grim Reaping begins. It wasn't saying that was the Grim Reaping, but wow, that was tough to watch, especially with our modern eye. That was tough to watch. If you do ascribe to the notion that we used to be more racist, perhaps there could be an allowance made that, okay, if we used to be more racist, then what we just witnessed wasn't as racist. A caricature. Because if we used to be more racist, then the worst things we did back then were bad. We were bad. In a caricature? All I'm trying to say is perhaps in 1915 that wasn't seen as we just saw it, with long sighs. Yeah, I'm getting close to my monitor. Might as well be in the movie theater at this point. Kids making fun of the white kids. What am I watching? The inspiration. I probably read too much into the last part with the making fun of. That was probably just they're probably just having fun, and me, adult, infected with history kids, I don't know what was happening with the kids. They probably might have been playing, maybe I'm right, maybe it's a different interpretation. The result, the Ku Klux Klan, the organization that saved the South from the anarchy of the Black Rule, but not without the shedding of more blood than at Gettysburg, according to Judge Turgey of the Carpetbaggers. But not without the shedding of more blood. Save the South from anarchy. But not without the shedding of more blood than at Gettysburg. So see what's going on here? The violence with violence. I don't know, man. No. Prepare the size. Violence, violence, we're here, man. Violence, violence, yes, yes, yes. Look how the music's going good here. Look how fast paced this is. You just traveled back. It's chaos, is what it is. If you think about all the powers at play, Lincoln, and then Wilkes Booth assassinating him, and these characters, the family, what goes on in each of us, the violence. Well, okay, I guess that makes sense. I'm not a big no, but I mean no for love going down because the daughter said no to the Ku Klux Klan founder. I'm confused if this is a sister, another woman, or the same woman that just denied him. I think it's the woman who just denied him to her father. Nope, I take it back. I don't think it is. I don't know. It is, isn't it? $400,000? Oh. And not one trust, but I thought I was gonna say for 400,000 years. The Ku Klux Klan. That's how out of it I am. Okay, I have to say something that's been on my mind. Because this example popped into my head. If, for example, I voted for Trump, and someone said, for example, that was awful and one of the worst things I could do, and is on the level of being a member of a Ku Klux Klan member. For example. Formally, before watching this movie, I mean, I guess here and there I might have thought differently, but before this moment, I would say, you know what? No, that's not the same thing. I mean, just expressing your right to vote, you know. And I am right. But then on another level, I am noticing, in a way, it is the same thing. Not in that they're both the equal level of harm. I'm not gonna. We can hear. That's where we lose each other. Oh, this one's worse. This one's worse. This one's worse. But it's all. It is the same thing, and the fact that people think it's the same thing, and that's not going in circles. They think it's the same thing for a reason, because if you look at it here, it has been going on for however many years and before. dissension, the war. If you even get caught up in it, then it is the same thing in that sense. And maybe it is the same thing in another sense. I don't know. I don't want to reason it out because I just want to love my brothers and sisters. Little sister. She goes alone to the spring. Oh no. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. The wonderful Wizard of Oz. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. I'm gonna watch that movie. Do I have to sigh again? No, that fade to black. Or that cut to black, then fade in. Oh no, man. Oh no, I don't do that. Oh no, don't do it, no, man. No, tell somebody about it. The other old bow. you're not riveted by how this is going to end, then me and you at this moment are somewhat unlike. I also want to say I've seen Django 3 times in the past year. It's making this movie a little better. It was some circumstances led me to see it 3 times. I watched it with someone I hadn't seen with it before, then again, and then again. then again, and then we watched it 2 times with another part of my family. Both Django and this movie, I'm not going to say are slightly historically inaccurate. I'm going to say they make veers in their historical inaccuracies. Both Django and this movie. So she stole their old jump, and the other guy would just say, "I'm not going to hurt you." Or the other guy, the guy. Oh shit. Oh shit, man. Why is she running, and then why is he chasing? And it's like, no. Ooh, that hit. Oh my god. Oh my god. And of course, yeah, he's gonna interpret this as he was gonna murder her and she had to jump. Damn, still moving. That rock hit. Oh. If somehow Shakespeare had made this a plot or gotten to this point, and if that character was good, she would have used this moment to exonerate the other character. If this character was good, that just fell. By that I mean if she had a good heart and she had gotten into the situation somehow. It very much could have if she just misled a little bit, but after that point of where you jump off, you fall 30, 40 feet, and then you hit a rock. In that fall, her good self would have come out and say, hey, and even if the guy misinterpreted her exoneration, she would have done it, which is why Shakespeare is king. Yeah, she could have. For her who had learned the stern lesson of honor, we should not grieve that she found sweeter the opal gates of death. For her who had learned the stern lesson of honor, don't really like the honor. Oh, she's saying it's a stern honor what's around it. Give the lesson that it isn't what it cracked up to be. We should not grieve. She learned the stern lesson on her. We shouldn't grieve that now she's sweet. She found sweeter the open gates of death. So we don't grieve that she's okay. She's in peace. She's pissed now. I mean, yeah, who wouldn't take the star black right here over the chaos that is our world. Our world. Our world is life. When I say our world, I mean when we're alive. I don't mean our world like our planet, even though planets are so strong, it's become to know that. And this mother, though, the mother's grieving, tell you that. That's her third, fourth child. Wasn't also this is the restoration. Wasn't also the Reformation something that was harsh? None good more than these. Okay, now that's the son. Now I know who that is. I had seen him before. I was wondering. What's his father's radical policy? To stomp? To stomp? I gotta drink some water. Fair trial in the dim halls of the invisible empire. Remember Gus is he who chased the colonel's sister. Damn dog. Sorry, my dog was moving around. seen this movie scene many times. What? Okay, the fact that they're not taking them though. But we have to. Sometimes we have to put aside the plausibility of reality, because okay, just in this, I'm talking about all action scenes, by the way, not just this. Okay, that's bad, but this is movie. This is the movie side of things. Like, oh, it's a film. We have to have tension. So we have to suspend for a second that he's actually taking on 7 guys right now, because it could very well be one guy, and like this could just be like, all right, let's have 7 guys in there as part of the movie, and maybe it was just one guy and he got away, and it was part of the movie. Like. And that's where, I mean, the movie is at fault for doing that. Because then when the movie gets in the way of our interpretation. Remember, we don't want to misinterpret, like, what's really going on here. We don't want to be like the guy who saw his sister jump off the cliff and she didn't know, hey, why'd she do it? Or was she about to get hurt? Well, the guy said he wasn't going to hurt her. Check it out. Even though it's the movie stated that the Ku Klux Klan arouses the self-preservation, it's giving them the best light of history, saying it was for self-preservation. It's giving them the best light to show how bad what they're doing right here is. They're doing justice for justice. They're not justice for justice. They're doing I get justice instead of mercy, eye for an eye. They're doing exactly that. They're doing justice for mercy. So it doesn't. If it would have said, "Oh, the Ku Klux Klan was evil, the straight evil, evil, all evil. The only reason they started was evil," then this wouldn't have the effect of it, because they're just evil. But it's showing that okay, they had a reason, and they have a cause. Well, guess what? Now they're just gonna be violent and kill this man. They're just gonna kill this man. And he didn't even do it. He didn't even kill that woman. She jumped off and suicided. So it's showing. It's showing the other side going bad, man. Showing the other, and it's better than this. It's showing it. And check it out, it's gone on so long that, at least for me, I forget this Silas Lynch's effect on everything. It's just, okay, the war has gone on so long, this movie has gone on so long that you kind of forget, okay, what were the origins? And now it's like, dude, can we just forgive and forget? Oh no, we gotta have violence, we gotta kill. If I haven't made it clear, me breathing is supposed to help hold your attention, so put up with the annoyance. Unless, sorry to even bring that to your mind if it's already happened. See, and it's on a woman, and they're saying it's the woman's fault. Well, oh, that's genius. That's genius. They're not saying it's the woman's fault. They're saying, this is for a woman. Oh, the life of a southern woman, a price of sacrifice on the altar of an outraged civilization. Pinning it up. This is a feminist movie, in a way. Because it's showing how women were put aside and used as props. Here is the ancient symbol of an unconquered race of men, the fiery cross of old Scots. The sweetest blood that ever stained the sands of time. Yeah. I'll take that right here. I'll take this guy's downfall. I'll take the little colonel's downfall. Remember when he won us over by sticking the flag in the musket and then falling in love with that nurse, and then we're looking at his life and he has fallen to this point where he says, I quench its flames in the sweetest blood that ever stained the sands of time. He has fallen to this point. We were brothers and sisters, and we are brothers and sisters. Yes, it's evil, but it has fallen. Spies dispatched to hunt wild whites with the costume. Jesse Stoneman, daughter of the man in charge, is being pled to do something about this. All these characters. Look at all the reactions and the chaos. Was Lincoln the only good person in this movie? I mean, like, yeah, you can't put any blame on him. A blameless man in this movie. Perhaps Lincoln's all. When I say blame, I mean we can all blame each other for existing. Because we want to have sex, but no, okay, I don't want to derail this too much, but I mean, I'm just talking about original sin, but I mean, Lincoln, like, is he the only one who hasn't done anything messed up in this movie? And what happens? And he's the most blameless. He's the one with least blame, and he died while watching the movie. Was this still entering film and art at that point? I feel like something pivotal's happening and I'm missing it. They're trying to rescue the grandfather. The grandfather's slaves are trying to rescue him. No, I mean not slaves, servants. No, I don't think that's happening. Big Daddy, or Mr. Deeds inspiration, Adam Sandler. Oh, what is happening? Violence, 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 violence. Ooh, what's else gonna say to that? Elsie's bro. Ooh. Yeah, because there's Elsie's brother and then her lover. Her brother's. So her brother in the north is. Wait, is that how it's going? Oh my gosh. This is chaos. The chaos is happening right now. You cannot trace who's to blame. You cannot trace. It goes so far that we can't remember why anything started. Or slavery being bad, probably. But then you slavery is bad. Slavery was awful. I mean, slavery in America at its worst. I'm talking the 6 to 6 we saw in the beginning. I'm talking Django, doing Django cuts at Django. And there's slavery today. That was your wake-up call. If you're trying to calm down while you're watching it, oh my goodness. Oh jeez, defense of the birth of a nation. No. Yeah, if you're trying to relax and you're falling asleep, here's your reminder to wake up, inspired by Orson Welles' scene in Citizen Kane. Red Letter Media, Mike's the class that makes a good point that there's a bird halfway through Citizen Kane that the reason is to wake the audience up, and this is my waking the audience up as the movie nears its climax. Wake up, wake up, wake up! We're watching a movie, we're watching a movie! We're watching a movie, we're watching a movie! Mind. My father failing to return and ignorant of Lynch's designs on her. Elsie goes to the mulatto leader for help. Chaos. We cannot begin to trace what's happened. I'm going to sit here and say, alright, now, the mulatto actually started her reign here. Because of her reign, and that was caused by this. And, okay, now you're setting up that chess piece. Now, how did Elsie get to this point? Okay, cool. Now, how did the little colonel get to that point? Okay, now how did these four guys get to that point? Oh, it's chaos. And as the plot is unfolding here into the climax, we're seeing that we cannot track this birth for the same reason you can't really track birth of perhaps raping someone, and they get impregnated, and what are you going to track the birth of that? To track the birth of what's going on here would be as hard to track the psychological motives that went in to the mother and the father consummating in that sense and giving birth to that child, and the child here is the nation. So if you're going to tell me, if you're going to look at a child, pick any friend you know right now, take anyone, take a friend, take yourself, take a brother, and say, okay, I'm going to give you an exact reason why this person is here today. I'm going to give an exact reason of their personality traits. I'm going to tell you truly how they have originated. I'm gonna reveal their amalgamation, what it is, and I'm gonna do that by looking at their mother and their father. I'm gonna look at their fathers and mothers, and I'm gonna trace it, and I'm gonna do it with such 100% accuracy. If you want to say what's harder, to do that or to do that for the nation? Now, you can't even do that with one person. Now we're gonna try to do it with 1 million people. Yeah, we're gonna try to trace the inspirations and what's okay, and if you want to take it even further, now try to do that country to country. You're trying to compare countries and their relationships. Compare relationships. The proposal of marriage. Yeah, now we're getting to the climax, but let me keep going. Try to compare United States with England and words on our relationship throughout the years. Our relationship with each other, and if we can put words on it, it's because we see the outer. Earlier I was putting some kind of word on it with Puritans coming to America and England coming from Germany, and getting a mix of everything, getting mix. Earlier I was doing that. Now I'm going off a tangent where I'm trying to think of Central Americans and South Americans coming from Spain. Like the way Hispanic person in Latin America views Spain. I've asked this before to my friends. Is that the same as America? Are we like United States, like a black white guy, how we view British people? Oi, mate! The Mexican look at a Spanish person and think, "Oh, how's it going, bruv? Is this how you doing, mate? Or what? You fucking doing it? Or what, mate? Oh, I don't even know what you're talking about, innit? I'm holding a microphone to my mouth and I'm sucking it!" Alright, let me wash what I just did down. I'm gonna wash it down and you're gonna go into a river. I'm dropping the microphone into a river and you're gonna travel and I'm gonna pick you up on the other side. Alright, I'll see you there. You're now entering the gates of hell. You're about to cross the river of Styx. Help. Please, nobody. In that previous shot with the Ku Klux Klansmen riding the horses, it shows that the Klansmen are like animals. They're both dressed up in the same getup. They're like animals and they're subjecting animals to animals because that's what humans do. That's their way of being an animal, subjecting the other animals. And all animals subject each other as animals. Man is a wolf to man. I think Homo homini lupus or something. So the construction's wrong, but it's Elsie's dead. Another woman dead. As all this goes along, a woman dies. The woman suffers the most. Well, we already looked before that the suffering isn't death, or death isn't suffering, but she got a redemption in a way.
Oh, she wasn't dead. So she is still suffering then. Once again, just to remind us, before the movie is even finished, we forgot how this all began, and the motives that led to this point. So, of course, however many years later, we're going to. This leader of the North now is upset because his right-hand man wants to marry his daughter instead of any other daughter. Blame everyone and blame no one. That could be. That's definitely ambiguous. Blame everyone and no one. Blame everyone and blame no one. Blame everyone, blame yourself, and blame no one. This movie would have been perfect if no movie about the Civil War was made until 2020. I'm talking no movie or work of art or even historical book was written about the Civil War. And then all of a sudden in 2020 someone makes a movie book. Someone makes a work of art. Even if someone writes a history and the history hasn't even been gathered, just all the documents are waiting to be analyzed and stories being to be told. No one even talked about it. It's 2020. It's 2020. Violence, chaos. I'm just thinking this would be great if someone reacted to my live commentary and they muted my audio. How would they made it muted on the video. Like they played my audio along with the movie and they talked to me in their recording and they maybe react to my reaction or add something, or when I'm quiet they talk. And then they upload just their voice. And it doesn't have to include my voice, but they just use their voice, so someone can then take my voice and their voice if they wanted and put us both together. And then that person could react, and we could have 3 people watching this movie, and we just talk. Or I could just watch a movie with friends. Violence, 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 violence. Violence cut to this shot's very strong. There's 2 causes of the Trojan War. 2 purported causes. One is the often forgotten one, that King Agamemnon of the Greeks the Greeks were a lot of different tribes. It was Greeks versus Trojans, by the way, in the war. Agamemnon he used power. He wanted Troy. I mean, he wanted to expand. He's a king. And he's leader of all these tribes come together, and not all of them, because Achilles disagrees with them, hence the strife. But anyway, that's the often untalked about one. The famous one is that Helen of Troy. She's taken by Paris the Trojan from Menelaus the Greek. I can't talk. Of the Greek, Menelaus, Agamemnon's brother. Those are 2 causes. Now look what just happened. What are the causes of this one? Is it just for that? Just to rescue that woman, or was it more the chaos? Of course, if you know anything about the Trojan War, even if you don't know anything, if you just like me, you don't know shit. No, remember, both sides, man, both sides are. I mean, you like Achilles, right? You like Hector, right? Here, this is why Homer is better than this movie, because they would show the best of both sides. Here it's showing the worst of both sides. Yeah, really the worst. It's stereotyping one side and then showing the evil part of the other side. That's why Homer is good, even when it has the best of both sides. And when you have Hector versus Achilles, you have those 2 great men. Even when you have those 2 great and good men, there's strife. So of course, when you're going to have the bad sides of both, there's going to be strife.
Okay, close your eyes. I'm gonna check how much time is left. Because I have to use the restroom and see if I can hold it or not. Please close your eyes. I'll tell you when you can open them again. Because I do think we should. Okay, just close your eyes. Close your eyes still. Close your eyes. Still keep them closed. Okay, you can look again. This is the aftermath. It said the sea. They're at sea. Oh my god. There was an election and look, I didn't even look at it because it wasn't important. I know it's not important. The election, I talked about going to the bathroom. And I don't even know what happened. It happened in 20 seconds. Who won the election? Who cares? Day we dream of a golden day when the bestial war shall rule no more, but instead the gentle prince in the hall of brotherly love in the city of peace. Wow. I'm scanning for black people. I saw one perhaps mixed race man. Would it be too... Is it left just subtle enough that it's not didactic? Liberty and union, one and inseparable, now and forever. That's redundant. Now and forever. Now is eternal. Because that's all that is the now. The end. Hope you enjoyed. Good night.